welcome back. Today isn't exactly an indie title, although whether the company that made this game is indie or not is very much up for debate. They did go through the whole rigmarole of having some trouble with developers and then decided to just make it their own way, and are actually very successful in their own wee niche. The breed of games that they make is called Combat Mission. Their speciality, Battlefront is the company, their speciality is strategy. Military strategy, realistic military strategy. So they take kind of war games from a step further and make them hugely realistic with really authentic units, time battles, and just the huge amounts of calculations and models and simulations that are going on in the background make for really interesting and sometimes annoying, sometimes hurtful, sometimes awesome scenarios inside your battles. But yeah, before I do anything else, this one is their newest Mission Fortress Italy. It's their newest title, their newest release. And before you turn off being like, oh, boring, realistic strategy, very, very slow paced, blah, 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 this game really does, on a micro level, look really, really good. When you zoomed out, you can see some kind of like, there was some older textures, etc, etc, but it still looks really, really, it still looks good, and it runs really, really well. Don't know why I'm using really that often. Probably because I'm excited again. I get excited about games, probably a good reason for me actually doing a gaming channel. Basically, I am hugely impressed by this, much more so than I thought I would be. I never thought I'd get into a game like this, but I am. I'm not very good at it. However, you learn and you succeed. Basically, you keep going, and you do get much better. Using real world tactics in a game like this will pay off. If you see what I mean, using tactics they used in modern and in World War II, obviously, which is the setting for this game, will help. That's the level of realism you get to. Anyway, we're going to head into a battle. I'm not going to show you of units large, whereas we're not going to go for that. We're going to go for the smallest battle there is. Also one of the hardest, by the way. This is probably one of the most difficult. So we're just going to go ahead and fight. We're going to choose the allies and skill level basic training because I suck and I don't really... And here, the loading screen, I'm going to quickly switch off for a bit so you don't... Okay, welcome back. This is the... Well, welcome back. It would have been only a split second for you, but for me it's been probably about 10-20. Basically, this is the briefing screen. Now, this isn't kind of like your regular Call of Duty, oh, this is a briefing before we put you in a seat and put people which you shoot in front of you. No, this is the actual briefing. You're going to want to pay attention to it because it gives you information which isn't going to be immediately available in the map. Okay, so the time indicates it's going to be afternoon. So that's going to be it's light, so it's not going to be thrust into the middle of darkness. So it's kind of middle of the day, so it's like light the whole time, so you don't have any darkness to cover you. Basically, there's a town that has been mostly cleared, so you must be near a town. But overall, the area is kind of secure. 14 platoon, that's us. We've been tasked to push further north. Our mission is to secure a railway station and the surrounding area within 45 minutes, because obviously the time here. So we've got 45 minutes to complete the mission, and yeah, basically 14 platoons. So that's one platoon. Now, if you're not aware, British platoons kind of function on a 3-section basis, with each section consisting of about 8 to 10 men. So we'll have roughly 30 guys. We'll probably also have attached units like the kind of command unit role. We might have a signaller with him, or we might have a mortar. So it roughly around 30 men. So that's not going to be too much. That's why I picked this mission, because it's quite small. Friendly forces, we have 14 platoon, obviously, and we're occupying a farm. That's fine. We took a number of casualties, 100 a day, but we're in reasonably good shape, so we're probably not going to be up to 30. We're going to have less than that. We got loads of ammo, obviously, because we had a resupply, and we have a mortar. That's fine. We don't have actually that many rounds for the mortars. That's okay. The German Paras, we're fighting German Paras. They're very well trained, so that's going to be difficult. German Paras are they're going to be difficult. They're experienced. They're well trained. They've got good weapons. However, their forces are in poor shape because they took a beating. we've been taking rifle fire from the railway station and from the farmhouse. There's at least one MG up at the farmhouse, and they can fire down into our farm from the farmhouse. Well, that's not good, is it? The two enemy positions are providing each other with mutual fire, and yeah, they're going to be really tough to crack. So we need to isolate and reduce each position in turn. So it's basically focus all of our forces onto one position, while not really doing much to the other, and take them out one by one. If you try and take both positions simultaneously, you'll probably just die because we won't have enough men, and we won't be able to keep their heads down. Okay, so we got yeah, so that's it. Let's go in and survey the battlefield. And here we are. This is totally not my third take. This is our farm with our platoon. These are the two enemy buildings. That's the railway station. That's the farm station. That's the farm building. As you can see, that can shoot nicely into our farm and kill all of our men, which is not a good thing. This building's closer, has no windows facing our farm, so they won't be able to shoot us until we kind of get into range of their wider middle windows. So that should be around here-ish and here-ish. We have our platoon, understrength platoons. We've got the 3 infantry sections with losses, so they're not very powerful or strong. They're okay, but you can use them. We have our platoon commander with his assistants and stuff. We have our mortar section. Oops, sorry, my headset fell off. So these guys actually control the mortar. And we have, well, the small smoke mortar we have. And we also have the mortar control, the mortar HQ. So we can actually use him to call in off-map mortars, but they're very limited. So I know there's a way of completing this by using smoke and mortars to keep the enemy's heads down, and it's basically we assault the railway station first. So I'm going to try this. Hopefully it means it's actually going to work. I'm not sure if it will at all. That's just the game. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to move my infantry sections. I'm actually going to move them all to this side of the building so they don't get hit by the guys in this building up here. I'm going to move my mortars down here. I'm going to move my platoon HQ down here. They're already there. So first off, I'm going to move my mortars to a position where they'll be able to hit both buildings, which is there, but they'll also be covered. And then I'm going to move my platoon commander to where I'm going to be grouping up my soldiers, which is there. And I'm going to give these guys orders to move along the wall and get to a staging area, which is there. The reason I'm giving them specific orders to move along the wall here is that if you don't do that, they might actually run through and get wiped out by the machine gun and rifle fire that will be coming from the farm down into us. So that's just something you have to watch out for. And there we go. So I'm telling them to move out here, then along the wall, and then to the staging area. So there we go. So that's all of my platoon is going to be moving. So that's fine. That's the first order, and I'll check out the units. I mean, they look good. So I click the play button. They're all going to run around, and hopefully we're not going to get engaged by a machine gun too badly. Oh dear, someone from my command squad just got taken down. Luckily it was only one of the riflemen. So that's my submachine gun from inside that building opening up and taking on that building to try and keep their heads down. As you can see, my infantry are moving up without being attacked along this wall, which is good. My mortars kind of pinned down, so what I'm going to do is going to get them to face this direction. We have to wait until they get up before we can do anything. Now timing in this mission is very difficult because I have to wait for the mortars to kind of all fire together. So it looks like the mortar section is up and ready. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to call in the off-map artillery support, so we can do that by pause before I take too many casualties. These guys are actually getting pinned down, so we need to try and get that done now before they take too many. Oh, still playing. Alright, it's paused. Playing paused. So there we go. Off-map artillery support. I actually want it to go further into the middle of the house there. So let's go ahead and click somewhere over here. Area target and put it here. So that's kind of the area it's going to hit. So that's where I want it. I want both of the mortars to fire. I want medium to try and make it last longer. So it's a medium, that's kind of amount of shells in the air instead of a heavy barrage. And I want it to last for as long as possible, and I want it immediately.
Hello, over.
So when those rounds start, so when they actually do that, I can then think about chuck in some smoke onto this building to also pin down the MG, because that's the most important part. So you go ahead and do that. And then I also want these guys to then put smoke onto this building to block these windows, so when I charge my men up, they're not just going to all get killed. I'm estimating roughly half my men are going to die. But that's just this mission. Okay, so let's go ahead and put smoke onto this window. Smoke has been put onto this one, so hopefully that's going to stop that machine gunner from being able to see and kill my men. Hopefully, fingers crossed. As I say, it depends on the mission, depends where the smoke lands, it depends on a lot of things. That's just something you have to deal with. That machine gunner is still pinning everything down. Don't know why that... Oh yes, obviously it's very realistic. The first shot is kind of rough, and then this guy will then say, nope, that shot was this, so you need to go this far up, this far wide. That was a rubbish smoke. Try again. And you can't see. Fantastic. Because he missed that mortar shot, it's going to be very, very difficult for my men to get close enough, because that smoke is going to block him from actually putting a good smoke onto that building. We have to wait until this one goes. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to call a smoke in to that window again. And we'll have to wait until this one dissipates before we can actually do anything onto this window, because we really need to smoke that so my men don't get up here and then get wiped out by an MG in that window. This smoke at least will kind of stop the snipers for a wee bit. We need that. So we've got some heavy mortars coming in, which should try and keep that MG's head down for a wee while. So that's them coming in, and hopefully it'll keep their heads down for a small amount of time. Are you gonna fire that mortar? That'd be nice if you did. Thank you. Now I want you to smoke that window. No, I want you to smoke that window. Go on, smoke it. Smoke it now, before this stops. Okay, so that's those mortars come down. Hopefully they've pinned them down, they've maybe taken a few casualties. Ideally I was wanting to use that to help my men across, but obviously that first failed mortar which put the smoke there instead of in front of the windows made it very difficult. Now I wonder if this one's going to hit in the right place. Yes, it did. And that smoke's there, and it's starting to cover that window. So I think I'm not going to get a better time. So it's time to send the troops across. I'm going to pause it. I'm going to tell these guys to mortar again. And then I'm going to send my troops in. Or should I wait a little bit? I think I'm going to wait a wee bit just until that smoke spreads out. And that was a terrible smoke. Really terrible. So I'm going to have to really do this fast. Get in there. You guys get in there. You guys get in there. You guys get in there. And then all of you, I want you to then get into the second building. No, get in to the second. What? Okay. You lot. Second building. There we go. You lot. Assault the second building. You lot. Assault the second building. So send their submachine gunner in first. We'll cover him with the rifles and the stuff. So there we go. So that should work. Fingers crossed. This is where I hope the game's really not going to screw me over. So that MG should hopefully not have a very good view. He won't wipe out my men as they make their way across. However, you know, he might, and that might just be this mission completely fucked, because he'll be able to see them going, run faster, don't keep stopping, or you'll get wiped out by an MG. Luckily, it looks like we should be okay. Sniper's engaging us. We took a hit from the sniper, but that's good. This is where the real fight comes in, where my men are right next, literally right next to the Germans. Luckily the Germans are smoked, and a lot of my men have got in. Get in, get in. So there we go, we got Germans inside. So this is where it very much becomes an inside fight. However, we have a lot of men in there, they have a lot of men in there. It's very messy. I can't really tell you how it's gonna go. That's an MG in there. We have men. So I'm gonna quickly pause it and see which orders. So I don't want them to run. I want them to get back in there. I want them to get back into that building. Obviously they think, wow, there's Germans right there. We need to run away from them. Whereas I'm saying, no, I want you to run in and kill them. So there we go. Luckily, none of them are actually pinned down yet, so we should be able to take this building. And it looks like we've killed quite a few of the Germans, although we obviously lost a couple of our men to begin with. So that was, I think that was actually one of these was our platoon commander who got killed, and we've taken. Well, these guys are pinned down. These guys aren't dead, so that's fine. We need more men to get back in there and kill them. Kill them, please. We've got Germans on that side of the wall. Us on this side of the wall. Oh, he just got taken out by a rifle shot. No, I need you to get back into the building. I told you. Oh, no, that's not happening. So they're not actually going to respond to my commands. Apart from this lot. Who I want. You just need to get them inside. So there we go. They're inside this building. This is fine. So that's working out completely fine. So it just looks like there's one infantry section which isn't playing ball, and that's that guy, these guys, and they might end up being killed by the MG up there just because they're scared, which I'm really hoping they don't. But to try and combat that, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna. Oh, we don't actually have any smoke left. We've only got HE, so I'm just gonna say target there. In fact, no, I'm gonna try and get that sniper because he's in the open. So I'm gonna say target that sniper. So that mortar should start kind of mortaring that sniper, hopefully. Right, guys, I need you to stop being cowards, and I need you to go in there and take out this building. We can't really do anything until they stop. So it looks like my men have actually done well and they've taken them out, but they keep trying to. They keep being difficult in terms of not wanting to go into the room where the Germans are, which is understandable. No, not there. Sometimes the controls do get a little finicky if you need to make sure your camera view is very central in terms of where you want them to go. I mean, I say these guys play ball, but they're not going to because they're panicked and they're very. Oop, they've become very autonomous. But that's fine. I can forgive them that. There's only 5 of these guys left anyway. So let's carry on. Then we're not being pinned down by a machine gun from up there, but there's nothing really we can do about that. We need these guys to get in there. So we've obviously taken this building, which means the Germans will have vacated the room, which is good. That's a good thing. We've killed quite a lot of Germans. Let's have a look in here. We've taken a lot of Germans out. We've taken a lot of casualties ourselves. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say I'm actually going to get our guys away from the machine gun fire from that building. So I'm going to say I'm going to leave this slot. I'm going to leave the platoon HQ in this end building. So I want you to stay there. And these guys can strong point the railroad. However, everyone else I'm going to want to come back here, because I'm going to need them to now actually go and assault the final position, which is up on the hill. And I'm not going to do a frontal assault up there because it's going to kill me. I'm going to go around the corner because we know the MG is in that window and that house. So if we can get over here, he can't actually see us as we go up here. And we've managed to kill the entire sniper team. I don't know how that happened. I hope it was a mortar strike, because that would be satisfying. But that's good because that means we won't take any hits as we go up there. I'm then going to use this mortar to stop attacking there. Press the wrong button. I'm going to tell him to target that window. So there we go. I get these guys to quickly run back here. So actually, I'm going to just get my men to run and form up in this house, because that's where they need to go. Come on, form up. I want you to form up in that corner. But it can't see it because my mouse is weird. There we go. So you form up over there. You guys, I want you to run from up there. Then this is making sure they don't go inside and get wiped out by the MG. So there's a lot of very much micromanagement here. However, you do have a lot of macro on larger battles. You can take your time over it, especially if it's the kind of turn-based style that battle that you've got going on. So there we go. This is working well. Let's see if these men will get into position without taking too much casualties. So that's nice. That means the submachine gun from my command section is just going ahead and he's engaging that building. I'm kind of worried about the Germans that have vacated this building, but at the moment I can't focus on them. I need to focus on the enemy in that room. And hopefully they won't know where I am, because they won't be able to communicate my presence. Luckily, we've managed to come all the way back here without taking any more fire from the MG, which is a good, very, very good thing. I'm going to go ahead and tell these guys to then move up to that position. So there we go. Hopefully this is going to work. Yep, they keep moving along. So far this is going very well. We've taken the first building. We've taken a lot of casualties in the process. Obviously you can't see the bodies at the moment because my guys are in this room. I think the Germans, because they can't see them, they're in over here somewhere, or possibly here hiding. Well, that's fine. As we can't see them, they can't see us. They can't kill our men. That machine gun is now engaging that wall, so we need them to stop doing that. We have no ammo left for these guys, so we don't need them as a mortar section, but we can use them as a submachine gunner section. So let's go ahead and tell them to move along and join the assault, because that's 3 extra men. I'm not sure if we need these guys in this roof either. It's worth using as many as you can in an assault. Let's go ahead and tell these guys to join them. You guys target that building. So I'm going to start laying down the fire. And now it's time to tell these guys to start running up. So quick, move them up the side, and we'll get them in position along this wall. You guys, let's move you up the side and get you in position along this wall. Now it's simple that we're only engaging one target, and we don't need to worry about... Oops, don't need to worry about that one. We don't need to worry about other targets and etc. We can do a typical platoon assault, which is using the whole no fire without movement doctrine, which is very simple. You don't fire without someone firing at the enemy. Basically that just means let's move them right up. This section I have supporting, so they're going to stay there and they're going to support, and that's good. We need someone to actually support the advance, so they're going to cover the advance of all the rest of my infantry. And these guys and this one, between them, they're all laying fire into that house. So hopefully anyone in those windows is literally just going to be standing there going, I don't want to die. And he's going to be lying down. Like this. So he's lying down, reloading, kind of going, oh dear, there's a lot of bullets flying into my house. I don't want to die. So he's not going to be shooting any of my men as they move. That's the general idea. Keep the enemy's heads down. You're not really meant to cross fire, but I don't really have much choice there. Because I'm so limited by where I can go. Obviously now we realise that there's enemies left now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay down, quit these guys, I'm going to tell them to move here, and then, then engage. So these are the guys that ran out of the building. So I want them to then engage that lot over there. So hopefully I'm going to try and keep their heads down. Because they're only using a submachine gun to fire at me, and from that distance it's not going to be too much damage, but it still could scare my men and do some, and it's better to keep their heads down than nothing else. So it'd be nice if you actually started getting some fire down range. There we go, let's get some fire. Good, guys. So that's some fire going down here, and hopefully it's going to stop them from firing. And even if it doesn't stop them from firing, their aim won't be as good. So that's these guys engaging this lot. That's just something you have to do. As you can see, they're pinned down. So I think I'm just going to keep them there to pin these guys down. Now the rest of my units are all still moving up, which is good. And now that these lots they've moved up, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to move this section there. I'm then going to clear that movement, and I'm actually going to get them to engage these guys here. So So they're gonna now get there and engage them. So I can then move my mortar guys up to help with the assault. So yeah, these guys are moving while I'm firing, and then when these guys start firing, I'll move this lot. There's only 4 of them. No, wait, where's the 5th guy? There he is. Okay, so now they're gonna fire. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna clear that target, and I'm gonna get them to move up to there. Let's see if we can shift that target to be right on them. Yeah, we can. There we go. Let's see if we can shift this right there. Oh, no, that's fair enough. That's where it is. Kill them, please. Or at least keep their heads down. Right. I want to move that section up as well. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say, you lot, fire at this lot. Oh, we're being engaged by what looks like an MG. So, there's an MG in that house. So I'm going to say, this lot, I want you to target that house. This lot, I want you to target that house. So it should keep that MG's head down. Now they're targeting that lot. I'm going to wait until they start firing. Start firing, please. Start firing, please. So they're trying to keep the MG's head down. So my mortars... That's fine, keep firing. Okay. They're not actually firing down at them, which is frustrating. I think I'm just gonna have to make them run up myself. So, movement, fast. Here. Let's clear your targets and get you to target. Oh, come on, you'll be able to see that building, surely. No. They're firing at the wrong building. I need to target that building. I need to target that building. Guys. Okay, so we know that there's guys in that building. I don't know if these buildings join. Yes, they do. So I'm actually going to go ahead and get these guys to run in and take that bottom layer. With these guys to support them. There we go. So they're going to go up together. So that's another infantry section made their way up. I'm going to move these guys up to this wall. And they're still going to engage the same place. Which is good. And then going to move these ones up to this wall so they actually have a better view on that house. So it looks like we're taking fire from this house only and not that house. Right, so at this point is the point I want to start getting in there and taking them out. So, let's move in this lot fast. Level 1 of that house. See how well that goes. So they're going to run straight in there. Hopefully without taking too many oh, wow, we just got obliterated. There's 2 guys just got wiped out by a machine gunner in that place. Because he's managing to completely pin down my guys that are there. That's just something you have to deal with. Their machine gunner managed to get a good bead on my men. But they're pinned down now, so this is when I need to kind of push them to get in there. I'm actually going to throw this section in as well. Clear that target. I'm going to throw this, so they all need to just get inside. So go. Go now while they're pinned down. Run. You're going the wrong way. Go that way. Get in there. So it looks like they managed to take this building. Which is good. I'm actually going to tell this lot to then move into the bottom layer of that house. Let's pause it just so I can get the right view. So you lot, I want you to run into the bottom layer of that house, and you lot, I want you to I want you to run into the bottom layer of that house, and you lot quickly bottom layer of that house. So there we go. So we've cleared the bottom layer of the left house, left main building, and now I want them to do the same to the other main building without getting pinned down. So the first thing I have to do, obviously these guys are both engaging that. Oh no, they're not actually, so they should stop. This wall has been destroyed, by the way. There's very much destructible terrain. These walls have been destroyed by the combat that's going on. So we've got an MG there and an MG there. So we're going to have to take out both of these places. Is that an MG? No, it's just an SMG. Never mind. So these guys should get in there and kill the enemy. Kill them. Kill them. Kill them, please. Turn around and kill them. There's guys in this house with you. My own men seem to be pinning my own men down. So at this point, I'm actually going to say to this lot, get in there and get to level 2. So that's actually me firing, I think. Yeah. Oh, no, no! Yeah. They just got a kill from behind. But yeah, we killed both the enemy, but unfortunately the first two men in my squad got killed by them. And it looks like we've actually managed to kill this lot as well, which is good. So that means the only men the enemy have left, as far as I'm aware, is this lot over here. So I've taken the station, I've taken the farm. Oh, there's still grenades going off in there. Oh, that's because an enemy in the corner. So yeah, he's killed. There we go. Enemy killed. Oh dear. So we've got quite a few many. I think that means there's probably Germans still in this other building that in the roof. Oh, victory. There we go. So before I take a look at the casualties, let's just review the maps. That means you can see all the enemies and all the bodies, etc. So first off, let's review the battlefield. We took a casualty here. We ran across, took another one, only one from the snipers. Came in here, took out all the Germans in this building. So that was a good assault. We didn't actually lose that many men in that assault, so we kept a lot of them alive. We definitely lost less than they did. We then took this building on our own. The only Germans I think left alive on the map are these two men here. And yes, that's correct. There's 2 men left on the German side. We took out the snipers, I think with a lucky mortar shell, probably that one there, and it killed them both. We then used these walls to kind of come up and try and take them out. We didn't lose any men on the advance, I'm pretty sure, which is good. The leapfrogging advance we did. However, the MG got a lucky burst off and killed 2 of our men here. And then with the actual advance into the building, there was no Germans in this building. However, there were on this one. So we killed the 2 guys up in the top and we killed the 2 in the bottom. These aren't dead, by the way. There's only 2 men dead in this room. You can tell the different animations. There's one body on top which he's lying on, and there's one body there. So we did well, actually. We didn't lose that many men, which is really good. Let's go ahead and end game. We can have a look at the stats. So there's only 2 men left, 7 killed and 6 wounded. So we took out 13 of their men. And we only lost 9. Unfortunately, they were all killed, no wounded, but we only lost 9 and they killed 13. That's a really good result for this mission. This is a difficult mission, and we did really that was good. I'm pleased with that. So we've lost roughly a third of our men, but we took both the enemy positions and we're holding both of the enemy positions. Thank you very much for watching. If you want to see a bigger battle, I'll be uploading a bigger one. It'll be a lot longer. I know this was a long time, but as you can imagine, it kind of scales up. It's a lot of fun. I'll give the links to the website in the description. Go get it. It's a lot of money because they have to kind of pay a premium, and they're a very niche client. However, it's worth it. It's a lot of fun, and yeah, I'll see you next time, guys.